Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for another office hours training. I'm Crystal L. Gunn, your financial strategist, small business advisor. And I help you create solid foundations, either on the personal side or in your business, to help you soar, to help you thrive, to help you move from surviving to thriving. And the part that I love the most is helping you to have those aha moments, those self-discovery moments, helping you see what no longer serves you so that you can release it in order to thrive. All that, including the breakthroughs and the shift, because that shift is necessary. That's where the magic happens. Again, be it on your personal side or your overall business. So let's go get into today's topic of budgeting brilliance. And we're going to talk a little bit about finishing up the budget, which we did last time. And then please go back and watch the previous trainings on budgeting, because I kind of walk you through steps by steps, right? And so this last session was, did you assign every dollar you earned a job? And that's when you put in all of your expenses, and then you added your income. Well, you put in all your expenses, then you added your income, and then you actually had money left over. And that money left over, we needed to assign a job, right? And that's part of building an efficient and effective budget, not just tracking your expenses, but actually being deliberate and intentional with your money. And this efficient and effective budget and assigning every dollar you earn a job is the way to start to reclaim your financial power and redefine that financial relationship so that it's working for you. Remember, everyone has a financial relationship. It wasn't defined by you. It's not working in your favor, right? So one of the biggest pieces that I do is I help people redefine that financial relationship through showing them, helping them heal. I talk about financial healing all of the time. There's so much healing that we have to do. And when you redefine your personal financial relationship, it positively impacts every other area of your life, because the same things, habits, beliefs, and traumas that are negatively impacting your financial relationship, they're negatively impacting every other area of your life. And so when you heal them, it helps to heal all of those other areas. But doing this and building an efficient and effective budget, not just tracking your expenses. People do that with apps all of the time, but that's not being intentional with your money. This efficient and effective budget helps you to become intentional with your money, right? So that you can live the life that you desire and deserve, and not the one after paying bills. Most people are living life after paying bills, right? But building this budget is where people get distracted. They get distracted because it's something different than they've ever done before. It's too hard, right? It's too hard, or it takes a minute to do. Well, it takes a minute to do because you're peeling back a lot of layers on that onion. You're peeling back and you're opening up some wounds, because remember, you don't know why you operate the way that you operate. And as you're going through this, especially when you're working with me, but as you're going through this process and you're asking yourself the questions, hey, why do I do this? Why am I working this way? Right? It's going to make you think, but also for some, it's going to scare you. It's going to startle you. It's going to say, well, wait, I'm just going to go back to the way that it was, because that way was comfortable. And here's the thing, that way wasn't comfortable. How you're operating in survival mode now is not comfortable. It's just what you're accustomed to. So there's a difference between being comfortable and what you're accustomed to. So don't mistaken, this is the way that I've always done a thing, with being comfortable. Did you get it? Right? And so, but building this efficient and effective budget, again, is where people get distracted. Oh, it's too hard. It's only hard because you've never done it before. Or I'm used to, right? I'm used to having money on a pay card. I'm used to paying my bills when I get paid. I'm used to manually doing all the things relating to finances. It's because you've been living in survival mode and you've been conditioned to operate that way over time. That's it. That's why you do it that way. And because you've done it for so long, it's now a way of life. It's your mode of operation, right? So you have to go back and break that. It takes 21 days to create a habit, but it takes 3 consecutive 21-day cycles to create a lifestyle. So you've been operating this way for, in some instances, decades. So this is your lifestyle. This is survival mode, right? So I had a client who, and you've heard me talk about the client who was um, just under $1,000 in the negative every single month, and we got her straight. And now she needs more income. She just definitely needs more income, and we're moving into that piece of it. But she had money going on a pay card, like she had money from that would pay her mortgage going into that separate account. She had a couple of dollars going into savings, but the rest of her money was going on a pay card, and she would pay her bills off of this pay card. And there was a lot of moving money around, right? And robbing Peter to pay Paul. Can't pay this month because I don't have enough money, right? Or I went out and and that's why all of the credit cards were maxed out. So all of the things, but she needed to put this money on a pay card. Now, I don't like pay cards for a whole bunch of reasons. But when we were redoing, after we had set up her budget and got, okay, we need to put money here. Where do you want the monies for these different accounts? This is mortgage money you still want over there. Okay, where do you want the money for paying your utilities and putting that money over there? Well, she and her homework was to get this money off of the pay card. No money should have been going in the pay card. Well, we come back in 2 weeks and she had switched the money around, through HR at work, but she still had some money going on this pay card. And she could not let that go. She could not let it go. And even when we went back to the budget, I said, you want to, her response was, it made her feel comfortable. She felt better knowing that there was money on this pay card in case she needed to dot dot dot. And it was in case she was short here or needed to do something here. And then she even mentioned play money. And I said, that comes from because you've been moving money, trying to pay bills all the time, right? And so I said, but there is no room for play money. We have to be very, very intentional with the money. But I said, you know what? Fine. Leave the money on there. Let's see what happens. And so now, like the last two sessions, it's probably been, $5 here left on a pay card, $10 there left on a pay card. But it was so very hard for her to stop doing something, to come out of survival mode. You can't just jump out of survival mode and be like, I'm done with survival mode. It is a process. And it was very, very difficult for her to do that. Not because it was effective, not because it benefited her, solely because it's what she had been doing for so long, because she was living in survival mode. I had a lady at a workshop and we were talking budget. It was a budgeting workshop. And we were talking about setting up your bills to pay your bills. And she says, well, I always pay my bills on. She was just a joy to be in a workshop. But she said she always paid her bills on payday. And I said, do you know why you do that? And she says, well, that's the day that I get paid. I said, yeah, but your bills aren't due on that payday. I said, you do it because you're living in survival mode, right? And she had already established that she had more than enough money to pay her bills. She wasn't in a deficit. She wasn't in, her budgeting wasn't even close. She wasn't living paycheck to paycheck, but she was accustomed to doing this because at some point in life, she was either taught it or that's the only way that she could survive. And she's still doing that. And so again, coming out of survival mode is difficult. And you don't even know that you're living in survival mode. You're doing a thing and you don't know why you're doing the thing. And it's not always an effective way to operate. right? It's the heavy lifting that comes up front when you're building this efficient and effective budget so that you can be intentional with your money, so that you can live the life that you desire and deserve, and not the one that you get after paying bills. I always say that you desire and deserve because most people desire less than they deserve. And they do that out of fear. They do that out of conditioning. They do that out of trauma. They do that out of all of these other things. They don't want to be let down. They don't want to dream big. So that mindset of, I just want to make enough to pay my bills, and whatever that dot is for that person, be comfortable, have a little left over, right? Why are we limiting ourselves to the type of life that we can live, right? It's conditioning. It's the financial relationship that you have that was defined by somebody else and doesn't serve you, right? So what is my favorite thing today? You all should know it without me even having to tell you. Efficient and effective budget. That monthly household budget was is going to allow you to build a system of success that you can live the life that you want to live and deserve, right? And not the one that you get just after paying bills. Okay? That's what this budget is going to do. So, what's the next steps? We know life is a journey. We know building this efficient and effective budget is a journey. Redefining your financial relationship is a journey. It is not something that you can do in just one setting. It is not something that you can do in 1 week. It takes time. So you have to come back. You have to go through the journey, right? It's you take it in small steps and you look back and you've climbed a mountain. You look back, you've redefined your financial relationship. And so you've healed that. And guess what? You've also healed all of these other areas in your life because the same things, traumas, habits, thought processes that are showing up in your financial relationship and keeping it from working in your favor is showing, all of those things are showing up in all of those other areas of your life as well. So what do I want you to do? Download the household budget. Download the household budget if you haven't done so before, right? The link is in the description. Complete it and then assign every dollar you earn a job. Go back and look at those previous episodes so that you can see what happens if you're in the negative when you do that, right? It's going to be an eye opener. Some people are going to be in the negative from, $5 a month to $1,000 a month, which is why you're using those credit cards to supplement that income. Go back, complete it, and assign every dollar your job. So if you're in the negative, there's some things that you need to do. Go back and watch that episode. If you have money left over, you now need to assign that money a job. It might be because you don't have life insurance outside of work. It might be putting money in a travel account, putting money in a miscellaneous account, using some to pay down some debt. You want to put some money in some investments, in more retirement, whatever it is, that remaining money needs to be assigned a job. And then set up your bank accounts and review. You cannot save in the same account from which you spend. You may have to set up different bank accounts or credit union accounts, and you may have to put your money in different locations. You may not even be able to have, 3 accounts at the same bank because you have access to those too easily. You may have to have money at this bank, money at that bank, and money at that credit union over there. That's fine. Whatever it is, in order for you to be effective. Okay. It is the heavy lifting. It goes against how you've been operating so far, but it's moving you out of survival mode. People are living in survival mode and you think it's comfortable. They tell you that your success is one step out of your comfort zone. But here is the thing, your comfort zone isn't even comfortable. It's just what you know. It's what you're accustomed to. It's how you've been living for so long. And stepping outside of it makes you uncomfortable just because it's new. But it's that uncomfortable feeling that you have. It's that allows you to succeed. It's that uncomfortable feeling that allows you to start to release the things that no longer serve you. It's that uncomfortable feeling that allows you to start to heal and redefine your financial relationship so that it works for you. Get it? So if this information has been helpful, please subscribe to my channel. Turn notifications on so that you don't miss a training. And most importantly, after you watch the trainings, share them with somebody else. Just share share the training and the channel with somebody else. Listen, 75% of people in the US are living paycheck to paycheck, right? We have over 1.8 trillion in credit card debt. Sharing this information could be a blessing to somebody. Okay. Also, if you are in need of personal or business strategy, let's talk about it. All of the links are in the description. All of the links are in the description. Check them out. Just make sure if you're scheduling any type of consultations that you use the correct link. And always remember, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. You don't know why you operate the way that you operate. You can't just jump outside of your comfort zone, which is your survival mode, and think that everything is just going to change and be okay. You got to go through the process. You got to walk the steps. Give yourself some grace, but keep striving. Never, ever, ever, ever stop. And don't ever give up on yourself. Invest in you. It's the best investment that you make. I promise you. And at the end of it, you'll be so glad you did. Don't be in the same place 6 months from now, 6 weeks from now. Don't be in the same place, right? Operating in the same survival mode. Not living the life that you deserve. Don't do it because you have the opportunity to do something different. Okay? So until next time, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Be sure to join me for the private online Q&A immediately following. The link is in the description. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you never miss this opportunity. Thank you again, and I will see you on the other side.